And in more news, the Vice President Jessica Alupo has called on local government leaders to strengthen collaboration in exposing and eliminating corruption across the country. She says that corruption continues to erode public trust, drain national resources, and undermine the well-being of Ugandans. Our reporter has the details.
The Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Jessica Alupo, has urged local government leaders to work together in exposing and eliminating corruption at all levels. She made the call while officiating as the chief guest at a high-level meeting organized by the Ministry of Local Government to implement the presidential directive on combating corruption.
We have the opportunity to cure it. How do we have the opportunity to cure it? We are all here under one roof, and we can make recommendations, we can make options, we can give our ideas and present them at the end of the meeting as part of the resolutions, and then we shall extend them to the highest office, discuss them in cabinet.
Her Excellency Alupo noted that the fight against corruption dates back to Uganda's liberation struggle and reaffirmed the government's commitment to promoting integrity, transparency and accountability in public service. She commended the Ministry of Local Government for spearheading anti-corruption efforts and encouraged local leaders to remain vigilant by reporting and exposing corrupt individuals and practices within their communities.
And that's why I thank the team that thought about bringing together these very, very intelligent people from all walks of life, different offices, to share ideas. And I hope that we shall share our ideas very honestly and frankly so that we can solve the problem that we have come to resolve here in this meeting.
The Vice President, however, cautioned against publicly naming individuals suspected of corruption before thorough investigations are conducted. She emphasized that credible evidence must be established to avoid wrongful accusations and to protect the integrity of government institutions. Her Excellency Alupo reaffirmed the government's commitment to building a transparent, accountable and corruption-free nation.
Remember that we have committed as government to ensure that in a very near future, together under the whole of government approach, we should realize a GDP of $500 billion annually as a country. And what does that mean? It means that when we get there, then these other small temptations will be fixed.
During the meeting, the Minister of Local Government presented progress made in implementing anti-corruption initiatives, highlighting areas already covered and the positive response received from communities.
They have been stealing your money. The road money has been diverted. The money for doing everything has been diverted. City land has been sold, including cemetery. How do you say the cemetery? How do you say the garbage dumping site? Where are you going to dump garbage honestly? And then you will call Baruga a bad person? Honestly, let's be fair to ourselves. Who sells a cemetery? Let Honorable Kachemes come and inform you. A cemetery of Umbarara sold.
The ministry also reiterated its commitment to implementing the presidential directive and working closely with local governments to strengthen the fight against corruption. Local leaders, on their part, shared practical strategies aimed at eliminating the vice at the grassroots level.
Government has revealed that Kampala Capital City Authority has developed a detailed plan to develop the slums around Kitezi landfill into modern housing estates. This was revealed by the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robinah Nabbanja, today while handing over Kitezi landfill so that the process of decommissioning begins.
In August 2024, over 20 lives were lost here when Kitezi landfill collapsed. The government of Japan came to Uganda's aid with 1.5 million US dollars. As a result of this, a group of Ugandan youth manufactured plastic pipes.
Those pipes are the ones who have made a miracle here, but the most important is that these pipes are manufactured here in Uganda by these younger Ugandans located at Masanafu, of all places.
Waste management is one of the biggest issues every city is facing. And I'm very happy to showcase one of the solutions here today. Only 2 years ago, when I came across the sad, tragic news of Kiteji dumping site, and I want to emphasize, without the effort of Professor Matsufuji here, he's 85 years old, from Fukuoka, who quickly came to Uganda to organize everything.
Today, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabbanja, handed over Kite's landfill so that the process of decommissioning begins.
When you look at how it was in 2024, after the incident, and how it is now, for me, when I was told you are going to Kitez, I was like, where are we going to start from? Because I still have the other memories. Remember, I was here. I was among the people who came here first. I promised that the lessons learned from Kitezi will inform broader reforms in waste management.
Ever since this tragedy happened, KCCA identified another dumping site in Buyala along Mityana Road. But Nabbanja says something needs to be done to avoid a repeat of what happened in Kitezi.
Let us not see another Kitezi tragedy in Buyala. Because I'm already told Buyala is a mountain already. In fact, we need now to manage Buyala technically to avoid another repeat of Kitezi. But at least there is value for money here. And you know, Nabbanja saying thank you is not easy.
So we are so honored to have this happening today. Right on the Prime Minister, thank you very much for the support. Kitezi people do appreciate. We lost people here, but at least we cannot recover them, but at least you have assisted us.
The Prime Minister also revealed that Kampala Capital City Authority has developed a detailed plan to develop the slums in Kampala into modern housing estates.
These people came up with a plan which we discussed on Monday in the cabinet. We want to see that slums of Kampala are all done with. We no longer want to see slums. There is a plan which they told me to spearhead so that we can see how to collaborate with the land and those slum owners. In other countries, it is easy to relocate a full village or a slum, but here it is quite still challenging. And therefore, I want to inform the general public through the Minister for Kampala and many others that we have a highly developed plan which we shall use to make sure that Kampala is redeemed. You will find Kampala looking like a torture in the near future, yes.
She also issued a directive to KCCA to remove all the garbage which was dumped along the roads during the National Cleaning Day.
I direct KCCA, Executive Director, to make sure that you collect all that waste. Not later than today.
She requested the government of Japan to assist Uganda with more grants for managing waste in Kampala and other cities in Uganda.
Having seen this, we still have a long way to go. If it is going to Kampala from Jinja, we have not even reached Rugazi. And so we still need more money.
And still, the Prime Minister, Right Honourable Robina Nabbanja, and the Second Deputy Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Dr. Crispus Kionga, have met the Parliamentary Committee on Presidential Affairs and briefed them on their mandate, programs and funding issues. The committee was led by Martin Ojara Mapenduzi, the chairperson of the committee. The meeting took place at the office of the Prime Minister in Kampala, and Nabanja called on the committee members to ensure that the government delivers service to the people. Martin Ojara Mapenduzi, the chairperson of the committee, said that they are ready to cooperate with all government entities to serve Ugandans as they perform their oversight function.
I wanted to see members, I wanted to interact with you, and also for you to ask questions directly to me, if there are any, so that we can answer. I also felt it necessary that we explain what government has so far done, where we are. In 1986, life expectancy was at 43 years. You know where we are? 68 years. When you are born today, you know. After 68 years, as we speak now, and you know that life expectancy of America? 78. So Uganda is developing at a high rate. Wherever you are, Ugandans, you must be proud of yourselves and be proud of your country. We graduated from the category of least developed countries in 2024 to the middle income status. To me, that's a big achievement that we have so far attained. And I want to thank all of you stakeholders. Now that we are there, we want to have a qualitative leap to the upper middle income status. You, the committee chairs and you members, including ministers here, we are supposed to get coordinated. This time round, I don't want to hear that a minister has missed to attend a committee. I don't want to hear that. Why? Because we are all doing the same work. We want to develop our people. And join me to thank the President for guiding and, of course, for leading our country ably. He's our torchbearer, the President. Without him, I don't know where Uganda would be. Even when you go in the peripheral area of the country, you see something. And for that, I want to request, Mr. Chairman, and all of you members, if you find anything, instead of washing our dirty linen in public, let us manage. We should inculcate a way of managing our issues. Because for me, all the issues that have come on my table, I've been able to try and solve and give explanations where we have not been able. So it is not necessary to wash our dirty linen in public.
We made a commitment as a committee. I know sometimes people think committees of parliament, are very harsh in doing that, and we would like to assure you, Right Honorable Prime Minister, our committee is not for witch hunt, is not for blackmail. Our committee is to do the things that will add value to the efforts you are making, and also to make Ugandans get the best that is expected of all of us. And so we will support you fully in the work you are doing.
And now in a rather sad turn of events, Uganda has today woken up to the sad news of SC Villa captain David Owori, who allegedly succumbed to injuries at Kes Clinic, Kampala, after an attack by a mob in Makindye. Owori, who on numerous occasions also got national team call-ups, was part of SC Villa's most memorable time of the modern day's team captain. In the 2024 Uganda Premier League season, he won the club its first title in 20 years. For football lovers, this Wednesday has been a double tragedy by death of the Masazaga Buganda football player for Bulemezi, Rogers Sebiondwa, who also succumbed to injuries after a collision with an opponent in the Bulemezi versus Chagwe game over the weekend. May their souls continue to rest in eternal peace. In more news, High Court Criminal Division has convicted Tamale Aloysius and John Bosco Mugisha with the offense of murdering boda boda rider Derek Muwonge in Makindye, Kanisa Zone. Court found that the prosecution proved the case beyond reasonable doubt that the two committed the offenses as they were seen on a CCTV camera while murdering Muwonge with a concrete block. More details in this story.
Those arrested, charged and tried in the murder case of a boda boda rider, Tamale Aloysius alias Yangamulo, and John Bosco Mugisha, that have been facing trial before High Court Criminal Division in Kampala, presided over by Judge Alex Ajij. Today, court has found the two guilty on all counts of murder and aggravated robbery. Court found them guilty basing on the CCTV camera footage that captured the two murdering Derek Muwonge by striking him on the head with a concrete block.
He also described how he hit the victim and they made off with his motorcycle. You told him that the role Tamale played was to strangle the victim very hard and they fell down. But that was you, Mugisha, who reached for a half brick and hit the victim. Hence this case of CRB 904/2019, robbery and murder.
Court also found that although the accused claimed they were not at the scene when the murder was committed, prosecution witnesses, however, placed them at the scene of crime, supported by their charge and caution statements on the court record.
However, from the prosecution evidence, I note that the accused persons were properly identified by the prosecution witnesses. All had common intention to commit aggravated robbery and murder. I find that this element too has been proved beyond reasonable doubt.
Justice Alex Ajij further found that it was John Bosco Mugisha who pulled the deceased Derek Muwonge off his boda boda before they murdered him, stole the motorcycle, and later sold it for 600,000 Ugandan shillings.
He also recognized Mugisha hitting a person several times, and both of them falling down with the motorcycle. The gate where you asked the man to stop and where you robbed his motorcycle from and hit him on the head, with several injuries on the head, had a camera. And that footage from the camera was the one which was circulated, and it showed that you came and got out of the motorcycle, fell down together with the guy, you put the guy down, and then began having a scuffle with him down and hitting him on his head several times with a stone.
On this and other grounds, Judge Alex Ajij found the two guilty of murdering Derek Muwonge. After the judgment was delivered, convict Alex Aloysius expressed dissatisfaction with court's decision. Judge Alex Ajij, however, responded to his concerns.
If you were a first offender, it would be very easy to believe you. Now you already have about 70 years. Different cases.
In a separate development, Judge David Matov of High Court Criminal Division has adjourned the hearing of the murder case of Ndiga clan head Engineer Daniel Bosa Ruhoma on 13th August 2026, following the absence of some of the accused lawyers in court. Deborah Namamonde, Aisha Msanya, UBC News.
Hajara Nakandi and Buembo Musa Abasi, the convicts in the murder case of Susan Magara, have also been sentenced to suffer a death penalty, and the rest of the 7 convicts have been sentenced to spend the rest of their natural life in prison. In delivering the sentence, Judge Alex Ajij held that the murder was premeditated, carefully planned, and committed with a common intention. He said that the punishment was intended to deter would-be offenders, punish those responsible, and reaffirm public confidence in the judiciary. The sentence was delivered by Judge Alex Ajij.
The convicts in the murder of accountant Susan Magara, Abufumbo Musa Abbas, Yusuf Biensi, Hajara Nakandi, Chewali Abubeka, Yusuf Lubega, Waswa Hussein, Katoa Sani Miro, Bukenya Ismail, and Sani Muzamil. After considering the submissions from all parties, Judge Alex Ajij sentenced Hajaran Nakandi and Buvumbo Musa Abbas to a death penalty.
And considering the aggravating factors in this case. And so I shall surely give them the maximum sentence of death.
Other convicts Yakubu Biensi, Chewali Abubeka, Bukenya Ismail, Yusuf Lubega, Waswa Hussein, Katoa Sani Mira and Sadi Muzamil were sentenced to spend the rest of their natural life in prison.
A7 and A8 are hereby sentenced to imprisonment for the rest of their natural lives.
In delivering his ruling, Judge Alex Ajij held that the murder was premeditated, carefully planned, and the convicts committed it with a common intention.
I propose to consider the fact that these actions were cruel, callous, premeditated, planned, and motivated by financial demands, with the fact that, indeed, some of the accused persons participated.
Court further ordered the property acquired from the proceeds of crime, including more than 10 motor vehicles, and land situated in Uyuka and Luero districts to be sold.
Transfer forms, mutation forms, and other documentation relating to the above acquisitions. Once confiscated and or forfeited, all the above should be sold. This will be superintended by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution.
The assets were found to have been purchased using part of the 200,000 ransom. Judge Alex Ajij said the sentence should serve as a warning to the would-be perpetrators, punishing those responsible for the crime and reaffirming public confidence in the judiciary.
To deter organized kidnapping for ransom, which has become a serious threat to public safety, to denounce conduct involving prolonged captivity, torture, and murder.
Before passing the sentence, Judge Alex Ajij commended everyone who contributed to ensure that justice prevailed in the matter from the time Susan Magara was kidnapped throughout the whole trial.
I wish to commend the security officers who exhibited and deployed immense investigative skills in using telecommunication techniques, call data recordings, communication matrices, and other sophisticated methods.
Before taking leave of court, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions also applauded the judiciary and the presiding judge for the manner in which this case has been handled over the past 4 years.
We have witnessed firsthand your unwavering commitment to the fair and impartial administration of justice.
Your calm temperament and ability to steer proceedings with firmness and fairness.
Susan Magara was murdered on 27 February 2018 along Entebbe Expressway at Kitiko Birungo in Imachindye Division. More than 40 witnesses testified and prosecution presented 113 exhibits in support of its case against the convicts. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nance Subuga, UBC News.
And in more UBC news, Uganda has been employed to ratify the IGAD Protocol on Free Movement of Persons, a regional agreement designed to ease travel, labor mobility, and residency rights across member states. It is 2 years since appended the signature on the Protocol on Free Movement of Persons in 2024, but never has it been ratified, a step that begs attention before its implementation. This was revealed by Jocelyn Bigirwa, the IGAD's head of mission to Uganda, who called on the Speaker Jacob Maxson Oboth in his office at Parliament.
Welcome.
Thank you, Right Honourable.
Welcome.
In 2024, Uganda joined the list of 5 out of the 8 member countries to sign the IGAD Protocol on Free Movement of Persons. 2 years later, Uganda is being reminded to make yet another bold step and ratify the protocol for its full operationalization for the low-hanging fruits it bears. On Wednesday, IGAD's head of mission to Uganda sought the support of the Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Maxons Oboth, in soothing the ratification process, noting that already a cabinet memo has been prepared.
Because movements across, within East Africa, it's easier, but there are other IGAD member states that are not part of, yes, and which are very crucial for trade, which are very crucial for employment, like Ethiopia, like Djibouti, like Sudan.
Bijirwa had called on the Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Maxons Oboth, in his office at Parliament. Bijirwa also briefed the Speaker on IGAD's 5-year strategic plan and the 2050 agenda.
Regional interventions. But we have understanding that member states have different challenges and need to address them in a more customized manner. We have, as an institution, in the strategy, agreed to approach country priorities and realities through country-specific programs. So at the moment, we are designing a Karamoja-specific program together with the Office of the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Agriculture and the Operational Wealth Creation.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Maxons Oboth, has held separate meetings with the Ambassador of Korea to Uganda as well as India's High Commissioner to Uganda. The Speaker informed the two dignitaries of the ongoing rebranding process of the August House from what he termed a tainted public image. He implored them to support Parliament and Uganda as a whole in her fight to end corruption, a vice he acknowledges has nearly crippled the economy.
Rely on where people like you've already implemented some of the strongest and nearly, stiff, punitive measures against corruption. So we'd be glad to interface with you to give us opportunity to learn from the Korean method, the model of fighting corruption.
In the same breath, the Speaker has tasked the Office of the Auditor General to up its game in the quest for accountability and transparency in government entities.
I don't know why you didn't find some faults here before. And I want to open up to you that we want to work with you on issues of accountability, audit, so that you help us be the best 12th Parliament. That's our goal. We are not without interest, but we want to put our interests aside and try to work with you.
The Speaker remarked this during a familiarization meeting for officials from the Office of the Auditor General, led by the Auditor General, Edward Akol. It should be noted that it's barely 3 months since Jacob Maxons Oboth assumed office as the Speaker of the 12th Parliament. Dr. Skimono, UBC News at Parliament.
And now we take it to aviation. Uganda Airlines has expanded its African network with the launch of scheduled services to Kigali in Rwanda and Accra in Ghana. The two routes strengthen the national carrier's regional footprint and are expected to boost passenger traffic, tourism, trade and business travel through Entebbe International Airport as the airline continues to grow its continental network. Samuel Senono reports.
Uganda Airlines is adding Kigali and Accra to its route map, extending its network deeper into East and West Africa. For Kigali, the airline is opening one of the last missing links in its regional network, though to some, it has come 7 years late.
The day one that we mounted Uganda Airline, we should have gone to Kigali. This is the nearest city to Uganda. The two countries have a lot in common. A lot of families have connections.
Government says every new destination strengthens Uganda's air transport network and supports efforts to grow trade, tourism, and investment through aviation.
These routes will not only strengthen bilateral relations, but also contribute to the realization of the African Continental Free Trade Area by making travel and commerce across our continent more accessible and efficient.
We are building a network that connects Uganda to the region, to the continent, and to the wider world. Each new destination must serve a larger purpose, supporting national development, improving connectivity for travelers, and creating long-term value for the Ugandan people.
The Accra service gives Uganda Airlines another gateway into West Africa. The route will initially operate through Lagos, allowing the airline to tap into traffic across the East-West African corridor while building passenger demand.
And Uganda is in a very, very, very good position to attract this group and show them the beauty of Uganda.
Uganda Airlines management says the service will eventually dovetail into a non-stop Entebbe-Accra operation once passenger loads justify a direct flight. On his part, Rwanda's High Commissioner to Uganda welcomed the new service, saying the additional flights will expand travel options and further strengthen relations between the two neighboring countries.
Going to Kigali with Uganda Airlines, so that now we have more opportunities, more alternatives. We have Rwanda Air, we have Uganda Airlines and the others.
The spotlight will in the next few months shift from launching the routes to filling the seats. Uganda Airlines is yet to announce its introductory fares for either destination. On the Kigali route especially, it enters a market dominated by cross-border bus operators and just one direct airline. Uganda Airlines' pricing strategy will most likely shape the opportunity cost travelers attached to flying instead of spending several hours on the road. Samuel Senono, UBC News.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu yakusabula. Mikono juu, free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
What if accessing government services became easier, faster, and closer to you? Introducing Service Uganda Centers, a new initiative designed to bring key government services closer to the people under one convenient location. Less movement from office to office, less unnecessary travel, better access to services and information. At the Service Uganda Centers, citizens will be able to access national ID services, passport processing, business registration, land and revenue services, and more, all in one convenient location. Whether you are in the city or upcountry, Service Uganda Centers are being designed with you in mind. Enjoy faster service, professional guidance, and a seamless customer experience. This is an initiative of the Government of Uganda, digitally powered by the National Information Technology Authority Uganda, NITA, under the Uganda Digital Acceleration Project Government Network. Service Uganda Centers, bringing services closer to the people.
We don't need anyone's permission to move forward. What we need is the power to do it our way. Spiro is not your typical EV company. It's the power grid for African ambition. A network that connects Nairobi to Kigali, Lagos to Lome, Dar to Kampala. Not with cables and wires, but with plain, quiet, relentless movement. This is Africa, powered by us.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. We take you into more news. The Uganda People's Congress Party President Jimmy Akena has welcomed the Ugandan government's decision to nominate former party president Ambassador Olara Otunu for the position of United Nations Secretary General, saying that he is looking forward to seeing how the international campaign unfolds. Akena also expressed dissatisfaction with the recently concluded Local Council 1 elections, alleging that the electoral process was marred by widespread vote rigging and other irregularities.
Congratulate the UPC members who participated in this election, the UPC members who were elected, but even the LC1 election, we could not do it honestly. The rigging. Why? General election a mess. Even LC1 you cannot do things properly. Why? What is the future of Uganda? What are we trying to prove to ourselves? That we cannot do something right? No. In iPod we will discuss it. Democracy has certain rules, certain expectations. Ugandans are being treated to comical aspects of election. People deciding elsewhere who should be leaders. That's not democracy. Democracy depends on the people having a right to choose their own leaders and the parties being able to fill the leaders without interference. So I congratulate those who succeeded, but this election of LC1 falls together with the other elections as a farcical use.
And now, energy. Parliament has asked the State Minister for Energy, Okasai Sidronius, to produce a comprehensive report on the various electricity projects across the country. This follows dissatisfaction over a statement on the Electricity Access Scale-Up project, which Minister Okasai presented to the House. Now, according to MPs, the work done does not reflect the value for the borrowed money of up to $608 million US for the 5-year project. Let's have a look.
Since 20th July 2023, government through the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development and the Uganda Energy Credit Capitalization Company started implementing the Electricity Access Scale-Up project. Government received $608 million in funding from the World Bank for the implementation of this 5-year project. The Minister of State for Energy, Okasai Opolot, has informed Parliament of the progress.
UEDCL is expected to connect under ESP 30,000 customers during the month of August. So now those meters and connection materials are available during this month.
Okasai notes that there has been slow pace of new consumer connections by UEDCL due to local suppliers given tenders to supply connection materials not meeting their obligations in a timely manner. He adds that the project needs about 40 billion shillings to compensate project-affected persons.
We have been discussing with the Minister of Finance to integrate even the element of meeting clearances for the land, the PAPs, to be taken care of within the loan agreement.
With the reality on ground, the MPs found the minister's statement wanting.
For example, in my constituency, the district is at 19%, and yet they are talking about compensation. But those projects that were left behind by the REA, we are compensated. But the poles are standing, they are rotting.
We have US dollars 5.39 billion unutilized and disbursed. Why? Because we borrowed first, then we don't know, we have not done this thing, we have not acquired right of way, we have not done what, we have not done, so many problems. It's like you go to a bank, you borrow money to build a house for you and your family. But then you realize, why do I don't have land?
After succeeding from Gumeme, the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited has so far made 79,000 connections out of the 896,000 target connections.
Because we need electricity. There's nothing much we can do without it. The socio-economic transformation we are talking about, we can't do much. The welding, the saloons, those factories.
Deputy Speaker Thomas Taiwa directed Minister Okasai to return to Parliament next Tuesday with a comprehensive report on issues raised by the members to make a conclusive decision.
At the end of the day, it will be results. So these issues are joined at the hip. They are close, they are cousins, they are twins. So I don't know, it will be very difficult for you to debate without touching into, because a project feeds into another.
I commit myself to undertake the assignment, but deliver it on Tuesday next week.
Okay, thank you.
The project has 5 components, including grid expansion and connectivity, financial intermediation, energy access in refugee host communities, among others. Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
And in more news, Uganda's long-standing open-door refugee policy is facing growing pressure as the number of refugees rises while humanitarian funding continues to decline. The country, which boasts more than 2 million refugees and asylum seekers, is now grappling with increased demand for social services, including education, healthcare, water, and livelihoods in refugee hosting communities. We have a detailed report.
For years, Uganda has been recognized for its welcoming approach towards people fleeing conflict and persecution. But with reduced donor support, the cost of maintaining this policy is increasingly weighing on national resources and host communities.
In line with our commitment under the Global Compact on Refugees and the Global Refugees Forum, Uganda continue to advance refugees, self-reliance, expand access to national service, promote social economic inclusion, strengthening support to all communities, and pursue durable solutions.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiwa, says Uganda will maintain its commitment to protecting refugees, saying the country's approach is guided by the African spirit of Ubuntu. Taiwa challenged Parliament to strengthen oversight and ensure resources meant for refugee support are properly managed.
I want to urge you, honourable colleagues, that now, as legislators, we can go back to our mandate as provided for in the Constitution. One, oversight. The money that comes to the government of Uganda to help refugees and addressing the challenges of refugees, is it used appropriately? Okay? We must ask the hard question. Is it used appropriately? What does the Auditor General's report say? Is there value for money?
IGAD head of mission, Jocelyn Bigirwa, called for increased regional cooperation, saying sustainable solutions to displacement require joint efforts between governments and development partners.
We have continued to facilitate smart national stakeholder dialogues and improve technical supports towards Uganda national jobs, livelihoods, and integrated self-reliance response plan. And we domicile this in the Ministry of Gender. And this framework enhances refugees' right to work, access to land, and integration into district development plans. We've also supported the establishment of Regional Refugee Engagement Forum, which has created an institutionalized platform for refugee leadership.
The leaders were speaking during a capacity enhancement forum for members of Parliament on refugee protection and durable solutions, where calls were made for stronger oversight and renewed commitment to Uganda's refugee response. For UBC News, I am Sudat.
Now, every day, thousands of Ugandans cross railway lines without giving much thought to the dangers that lie just meters away. But for some, one careless movement can change lives forever. Following a series of accidents and near misses at railway level crossings across the country, the Uganda Railways Corporation, together with the Ministry of Works and Transport and Safeway Rightway, has launched a nationwide road rail safety campaign, as Dennis Igwa reports.
Just weeks ago, Sergeant David Mwanje thought he would never make it home. He narrowly survived a horrific crash at the Chetume railway crossing in Mukono district after a speeding bus attempted to beat an oncoming train. The crash claimed one life and left several others injured.
After realizing that the bus is going to knock on the train, I jumped and fell into a trench. That is what saved me. In fact, my cape, I didn't know how it came out of my head. The bus landed on it.
Today, although still shaken by the ordeal, Sergeant Wanje has turned his painful experience into a powerful message, calling on all road users to exercise patience and vigilance whenever they approach a railway crossing.
Appeal goes to the drivers. Try to respect officers in different points, though not even railway and other places. What I realized may be that man had some issues with the bus.
His story set the tone for the launch of the nationwide road rail safety campaign, spearheaded by Uganda Railways Corporation, the Ministry of Works and Transport, and Safeway Rightway. The campaign comes at a time when railway operations are expanding, making safety awareness more critical than ever.
When you have had incidences in the evenings when there's traffic jam, you find motorists parking on the railway line at the level crossing. That is equivalent to suicide. So I appeal to the public, when there is traffic jam, please make sure you don't park along on the rail line.
If you're driving or you're walking or you're doing any activity, you must be security conscious, safety conscious, that any time the car can knock you, the train, you can knock the train, the border can hit you. So it should not be the responsibility of only the Ministry of Works and Transport, but all of us.
Stakeholders from both the public and private sectors pledged their support for the initiative, emphasizing that preventing road rail accidents requires collective responsibility.
Ugandans, I'm sorry to say so, we are relaxed in everything. We don't mind. We lost a woman on that railway crossing down there. Why? She was talking on the phone, crossing down there.
So now we've started to shift attention to rail safety as well. Not only road safety, but we're also shifting attention to rail safety. Why? Because of the emerging development in rail transport. So, and we're telling citizens, we're telling road users that as you approach these level crossings, please be mindful, be cautious, be careful, be alert.
The campaign will roll out across the country through public sensitization, community engagement, and road safety education, with the goal of reducing accidents and saving lives at every railway crossing.
Although train accidents are very rare in Uganda, the Ministry of Works and Transport and the Uganda Railway Corporation deem it necessary to engage the necessary stakeholders, that includes the motorists, pedestrians, and border riders, in order to curb any future occurrences. Dennis Igor for UBC.
The parent is Tuliahemwa Dixon. And the child is Tuliahemwa Esther.
Kambera gwete kwa mugisha ngo ishe watujyayewa Esther wahangura school fees ngende na hateje shana amashemerwa gonka MTN momo eberewo mbeni nyigasta igana kaga ni 5 star munana 0 hash kushashuro mwana school fees tokoma nyo mugisheri zagwije wanje ninga nchaka ni kubasa kuzo wawe mwebare munonga.
Step into elegance, step into confidence, step into La Vie Boutique. Located at Grand Imperial Hotel, Shop 6 and 8, right behind Bank of Uganda, La Vie Boutique brings you high-class corporate and casual wear for men. From sharp designer suits and crisp shirts to stylish casual t-shirts, tracksuits, shoes and accessories, we've got everything to make you stand out. Call us on 0772 419 181 or 0705 555 558. La Vie Boutique, where class meets style.
Alo.
Esebo mwami mukasa.
Mutyaneyo.
Yono broka.
Yenze broka wa mayumba.
Bangambye ne nyumba za mwenungiko.
Kituufu. Oyagala bisenge bimeka?
Nga bisatu.
Ebbeeyi bagigambye?
Bangambye saa 5.
Nedda ssebo eno zaali nnyamuuko.
Lwaki?
Anti langi gye tusiigisa ya mulembe. Kati ne valiyo y'ekitundu yali nnya.
Musiigisa ki?
Global Paints.
Mutya.
Ku siiringi tukozesa Global Mat. Ate munda ne tukozesa Global Silk Vinyl.
Singa kwetaga wabweru.
Wabweru tukozesa Global Weather Coat Emulsion.
Kusiiga gye musiiga. Ogwo omutindo ogusasulira essente zonna.
Guli wumite.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
In Uganda, mornings don't begin with sunrise. They begin with courage. One man, one factory that has refused to stay silent. With one spark of courage, a chain of prosperity begins.
We are together. We rise together.
When one Ugandan stands up, the nation moves. Pearl Bank, grow, prosper.
Every life begins in a moment like this. Certain, planned, full of promise. For us, it's a bold ambition to make lives better. Because somewhere, someone is stepping into a world of work for the first time with the confidence that their retirement is taken care of. We make dreams possible. From owning homes to scaling businesses. And when health takes an unexpected turn, help is there when it's needed most. And because legacies matter, what people build does not end with them. It's passed on. We value moments with go-getters, bold dreamers, and believers. Different paths, different rhythms, with one shared belief that financial freedom is within reach. For 40 years, we've made lives better and fueled Uganda's economy. Through careful investment, we have supported businesses, created jobs, and backed our nation. To us, it's more than saving. It's believing in effort, in patience, in possibility. It's making lives better. We believe in you, in us, and in Uganda.
NSSF, 40 years of making lives better.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. The Acting Minister for Education and Sports, Dr. J.C. Muyingo, has commended the Uganda National Examinations Board for conducting the National Assessment of Progress in Education survey aimed at determining the level of achievement of learners with special education needs, as well as Senior 2 learners' performance in mathematics, biology, and English language. The minister was presiding over the launch of the central dissemination of the 2025 NAPE report held at Hotel Africana here in Kampala.
After going for more than 11 years without a NAPE report, UNEB has released the 2025 NAPE report to assess the levels of achievement of learners with special education needs in both inclusive and special schools. The Acting Minister for Education and Sports, Dr. Jesse Muyingo, commended UNEB for producing the report, describing it as timely, especially as the ministry continues implementing the new lower secondary curriculum.
To understand the position of the country in terms of learners' achievements and the context in which the learner learn in order to make the necessary interventions. Of course, following those studies in the past and the findings in the 2025 NAPE report have come at a time when the government of Uganda is implementing the competence-based curriculum, which is learner-centered, of course, and here government is emphasizing skills development and utilization of continuous assessment to monitor learners' progress.
Minister Muyingo was presiding over the launch of the central dissemination of the 2025 NAPE report, attended by officials from the Ministry of Education and Sports, members of Parliament, and other education stakeholders at Hotel Africana in Kampala.
These findings show that government's initiatives to increase access to and improve the quality of education are yielding fruits. Such interventions include recruitment of more teachers, which we have done very well, construction of more classrooms, enhancement of teachers' salary, among many other measures.
The Executive Director of UNEB, Dan Odong, expressed gratitude to the Ministry of Education and Sports, the National Curriculum Development Center, and other education stakeholders for their valuable support, which enabled UNEB to successfully conduct the 2025 NAPE survey and produce the report.
Of our entire education system against established standards of the national curriculum is one of the mandates of Uganda National Examinations Board as per the provisions of Section 4, subsection 1I of the UNEB Act. The board fulfills this mandate through the implementation of a robust national assessment system, which we know as National Assessment of Progress in Education, popularly called NAPE.
The 2025 NAPE report indicates that the national achievement level for Senior 2 learners was 61% in mathematics, 45% in biology, and 80% in writing sub-skills, among other findings.
And in more news, Uwezo Uganda has rolled out the 2025 National Learning Assessment to evaluate children's literacy, numeracy, life skills and value competencies across the country. This assessment targets children aged 4 to 16 years, both in and out of school. Literacy and numeracy are assessed for all learners within this age group, while life skills and values evaluation are included too among children aged 5 to 16 years. This exercise is being conducted in 29 sampled districts with the support of partners and volunteers.
The 2026 National Learning Assessment seeks to establish whether the children are acquiring the knowledge and competencies expected at their respective learning levels, while identifying learning gaps to inform education policy and improve learning outcomes.
Uwezo Uganda envisions a society where all children are learning and realizing their full potential. We do this through assessments, research and engagement in collaboration with other partners. We are doing these assessments among children between ages 4 to 16, and from 5 to 16 we also engage or assess life skills and values. Our assessments are household assessments, but we visit the local council to introduce this exercise, but also we go to schools to collect variables that affect learning, for example, teacher presence, pupil presence, enrollment, and other variables that affect learning around the school.
In Shema District, the initiative is already registering encouraging results. Previous Uwezo community engagements have strengthened parent-child relationships, increased parental involvement in school activities, and improved learner follow-up.
This is what we normally encourage parents because they have also a role to play in children's learning. It does not stop at teachers or head teacher. So we are glad that what we normally tell them in form of instant feedback as Wadulo policy, that it's good for them to participate in school activities. We have testified it today at Inganwa Junior School.
The parents who participated in the program have already embraced a savings culture, with one community group reportedly saving more than 23 million shillings.
Ekindi Rogers kuba tutandikira ekibiina eki tikyagalakanyuma kyagumiza mu nkikola. Iriza twarga kubagana sente zifika miliyoni zi 24.
Crispus Arinitwe reporting for UBC.
And in more news, several former local council 1 chairpersons in Katabi Town Council, Wakiso District, are demanding fresh elections in their respective villages, alleging that the recently concluded LC1 polls were marred by irregularities. The former leaders say that they have already lodged complaints with the Electoral Commission and are awaiting a response.
Former local council 1 chairpersons in Katabi Town Council who lost in the recently concluded LC1 elections are calling on the electoral process to organize fresh elections in their villages, claiming the electoral process was characterized by widespread irregularities.
Complainant on the conduct of our local council on election. Unnecessary delay in voters' verification had enabled the foreigners' elements accompanied by the army.
The former leaders argue that the alleged irregularities affected the credibility of the election results and insist that residents deserve a free, fair and transparent electoral process. At a meeting held in Bulega village, former LC1 chairperson Walugembe Tony Salongo urged the officials who presided over the election to carefully review the declared results and ensure that the rightful winner is recognized.
Declare the incumbent winner. We shall be grateful if the request is put into urgent consideration.
Walugembe told residents that he has formally submitted his complaint to the relevant authorities and is waiting for the Electoral Commission to consider the matter before deciding on his next course of action.
Council 1 chairperson position and fronting the person of our choice.
The meeting, however, ended abruptly after police officers from Katabi intervened and asked Walugembe to end the gathering. Officers briefly struggled to disperse the crowd as residents demanded answers over the disputed election outcome. Faith Jamil Sekaja for UBC.
And in the world of sports, cyclists in Masaka are intensifying preparations for the Jubilee Life Grand Nairobi Bike Race, scheduled for September, after more than 30 riders took part in a regional activation race in Bukalasa, Villa Maria. The 72-kilometer event, organized by Masaka Cycling Club in partnership with the Jubilee Life Insurance, provided a competitive platform for local cyclists while supporting initiatives focused on children's prosthetic limbs and environmental conservation.
The challenging roads of Bukalasa tested the strength and endurance, determination of cyclists as they battled for honors in the Masaka activation race. For riders, the competition was more than a race. It offered valuable preparation ahead of the Jubilee Life Grand Nairobi Bike Race, where they hope to represent Uganda against cyclists from across the region.
This activation has been planned to motivate the main race in Kenya, which is going to take place in September, as I said. Yeah, we've got 30 riders today from Masaka Cycling Club because the organizers of the Jubilee Live Race, they decided to start this activation. This is the first of its kind, and then they wanted to choose the best organizing club in the country, which is Masaka.
With a limited domestic racing calendar, organizers say events like these are helping nurture talent and keep cyclists active throughout the year.
And today's race was basically to have the participants test their endurance and their readiness for the grand race that will be happening. And we're also proud to be to have partnered with Masaka Cycling Club for the past 3 years. And we see that the cyclists are in good shape, they're ready for the race, and we're happy to be able to give them the opportunity to participate in this cycling activity beyond Uganda.
In the main 72-kilometer race, Bienzika Davis emerged winner after a tough contest, while the women's category featured a 30-kilometer race that showcased growing female participants in cycling. As the Nairobi race draws closer, Masaka cyclists believe the activation has given them the confidence and preparation needed to compete on the regional stage.
And that brings us to the end of our 8 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. Up next is going to be the Super Soul Sisters. And right after that, Behind the Headlines, our flagship political show, will be with you. Otherwise, my name is Wadulo Arnold. Mark Yusuf Senyomo is on sign language. Have yourselves a lovely Wednesday night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
All of Africa, welcome everyone.
The Uganda People's Defense Forces invites you to the second edition of the UPDF-CDF Inter-Forces Drill Competition. Join us on Tuesday, 25th August 2026 at the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for an electrifying showcase of precision drill, synchronized formations, discipline, and military excellence. Under the theme Precision, Discipline and Cohesion, Pillars of National Resilience and Transformation. Witness UPDF formations battle for the coveted Inter-Forces Drill Championship. Who will take the crown? Will it be the Land Forces, Air Force, Special Forces Command, Field Artillery, Motorized Infantry, Marines Brigade, Directorate of Women Affairs, Military Police, or one of the 1st to 5th Divisions? The event will be presided over by the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. For more information, call 0392 947 455.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.